free in there. Well, next to come forward is a man who needs very little introduction. The legend that is Sir Mark Todd comes forward with David and Catherine Thompson's McClaren. Mark currently ranked at number 8 in the world, and this is a horse that he thinks a huge amount of for the future. Reasonably inexperienced at this level, an 11-year-old now, but only took on by Mark in the last year or so, and actually stepped up to 3-star at Blair last season. Then went to Buccalo and had a brilliant finish for 7th place there. And Toddy, of course, very experienced. Olympic gold back in 84-88 with the great charisma, and that a horse that this horse reminds him a huge amount of. A little pocket rocket. What can their challenge look like here? Leg 1 of the Event Rider Masters. Andrew Fletcher in the studio with us. Andrew didn't look to have the easiest of rides around the top of the arena there.
No, I know this horse, and it's just fantastic. It potentially is such a great mover. I mean, it's quite a small horse. It's probably only 15.2, 15.3.
And Sir Mark is very tall, isn't he?
He is a tall chap, yeah. But this horse has huge potential, and he's, you know, I'm fortunate enough to have been involved in a bit of training with New Zealand with their trainer Isabel Wessels, and I've seen this horse at training, and it's it's just brilliant. A real good mover, great trot, great canter, but it's fairly new to Mark. I think he's only had it sort of a year, 18 months, and he's still just, I suppose, training the horse a bit better, and it's just a little bit like you see there in the contact, just lacks a little bit of discipline in places. Mark would be, you know, in my view, one of the best event riders, if not the best event rider, and he will get the very best out of this horse, probably a whole lot more than most of the people would. But this wouldn't be the easiest, but potentially it's just phenomenal.
They're coming off the back of a very, very good score at Buccalo. 28.5 was what they scored that day. The CCI 3-star, that's their second last international run. They were at Belton, 29.7. So both of their recent tests have been below that magic number of 30. Got a little bit of work to do to get back underneath that today.
Yeah, the horse is just a bit switched on, you know, not really quite relaxed enough, a little bit hot, and you know, maybe not quite listening to Mark enough. I'm not sure he's totally got the ride he wants. Pirouette left, you know, average mark of a 5 there. But Mark will know that this is all for, you know, another day. He's training the horse over the time and probably not had a lot of exposure this year. Yeah, just been a bit cheeky, the horse, but I mean, a brilliant balance. I just love this canter. It looks like the horse was just born to canter. I always say to people I'm helping, coaching and working with, I always say, if you want to know how to ride the rein contact, then go and watch Mark Todd, because he's just so good in the reins. Yeah, a little bit late to the marker, maybe behind him a little bit, but clean when it came. The flying change there. And, you know, he's still brave to say, go on then.
He really went for that, didn't he?
He did indeed. I think he was perhaps waiting for that opportunity to say, all right, you want to be a little bit fussy with me, then let's see if you really want to go. Interestingly, the horse has come better for that.
He almost wants to start his test again.
Just see glimmers of brilliance here. Not just the rider, but this horse is just, yeah, one of my favourite horses on the circuit.
So in terms of capturing that brilliance, what is the next stage? What will make that come together?
Well, Mark will be, for this phase, Mark will be working on maybe a little bit more discipline from the horse. I'm not sure it's a horse that you can just tell what to do. I think he's experienced enough to know that he's got to work with the horse. I've actually seen the horse jump as well, and it's just the most phenomenal jumper. But the way of going is just to be just a little bit more submissive.
So Mark, Todd and McClaren. Mark, who finished third on the series podium last year in the series, which was won by Gemma Tattersall, Sarah Cohen taking second spot, and Mark with some very good solid performances at Barbury, Gatcombe, Jardy and the series finale at Blenheim, sneaking on in third place. We'll get his score in a moment, but you've got someone pretty special with you.
I've got someone very special with me indeed, Mark Todd on McClaren. That was a good round. He has risen from novice to 4 or 3-star in just a year, I believe.
I know this time last year he was doing novice events, so he's come a long way in a short time. And well, he was good out there today. He hasn't had a run for a while, so he's a bit fresh, and he's not really used to the atmosphere out there. There's a lot of people around. There's a lot going on, so he was a little bit inattentive. But some of his work was really good. You know, he's in 12 months' time, he's going to do a really stunning test.
And how's he going to perform tomorrow? What are your expectations for him?
Well, I mean, he is such a good jumper, but again, you know, at this level, he's very inexperienced. I haven't walked the course yet. I'm hoping it's not too technical or difficult. I'd like him just to have a nice, fun experience around here. He normally jumps clear around the show jumping, so I'm just hoping for you know, a nice finish and a good result.
And Mark, we had you on the podium at the end of last year, third overall. Are we going to see you there again this year?
Well, I'll be trying, yes. I'm not going to be able to get to all the series, but I certainly hope to be at enough of them and put up some good performances that it gets me up on the podium.
Okay, we'll certainly be watching yours and McClaren's progress tomorrow. Very best of luck.
Thank you.
Some of the other horses been a little bit more agile in the canter, and that I think is the difference to make the jump.
Well, so Mark Todd comes away now with the McClaren. It's a horse he thinks a huge amount of for the future. 32.0 their starting score. And a horse that is relatively inexperienced at this level of competition, came from novice up to 3-star within the space of around 12 months or so, but no better man on board. And perhaps one of the more extravagant jumpers that we've seen so far.
Yeah, this horse moves really well through the back when it jumps. Lots of height. Sometimes been a little bit loose in front, but yeah, it's looking very good at the moment.
It must be such a treat as a rider to have a horse that really does try for you over a fence as well.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's as if he has been riding motorbikes all the time and suddenly get in a Ferrari.
Well, this is a horse that really reminds Mark of his double Olympic champion Charisma. Diminutive in stature, but enormous in heart and talent. And just looking a little tight on the time, I think. He's got the final upright to go, and I think he's going to sneak into time penalties. The clock turns red, and that is going to be 4 time penalties to add for Mark Todd and McClaren.
Well, they picked up time penalties in 3 of their last 6 internationals, picked up time penalties at Rockingham, at Harastapan and at Blair Castle, so that's definitely going to be an area for them to keep an eye on in the future.
Well, still a relatively inexperienced partnership together, in so much as Mark only took on the ride last year, but McClaren 4 time penalties, clear jumping with Sir Mark Todd. So that means we have just 3 clear rounds so far. They came from the first 3 that came into the arena in Tom Chris, Sam Watson and Sam Ekroyd. Round, part of the attraction of Chatsworth, what makes it so special, as Sir Mark Todd and McClaren through the combination, the Northern Know-How 7A and B. And as we go into the top 20, I think we'll start to see some of these riders chasing the huge £50,000 prize pot for the leg here. And of course, valuable series points as well. Monarch Sale very generously once again providing a 2-night stay at the world-renowned Monarch Spa Hotel over in Ireland for the owner of each of the winning horses in the leg. and all of the owners took up their prize last year, and I'm sure a few of them took a trip to the Monarch sale in November as well to pick out some of the future superstars.
Well, Mark Todd has just gone behind our stand here, and he's getting a lot of cheers from the crowd. But he's very excited about this horse, McClaren. He was very good.
The SAP brush with technology. Stella Benati and Zara on a late 20 penalties for them. And she'll come round to represent.
I don't think that'll be the last 20 we see at that fence. If there's going to be one of the big names have a shock 20, it's going to be at that corner complex, because they'll be tired, and it is quite a turning exercise. There we go. 1, 2, 3. He's a really small horse, this, but he's got a big stride.
Got plenty of scope as well.
Yeah, he does. He's a big jumper. Pictures of him clearing fences by miles, which is probably less efficient from a time-wise, but he is one I'm looking forward to, D, anyway.
No, I agree.
Cross-country riding is very much about controlling the shoulders now, and a lot of these combinations are on turns, and if you're letting that horse drift out through the shoulder, you're in trouble, and that's what happened to her.
Mark Todd and McClaren heading into the latter part.
With this 2 down in the show jumping, and it could just be that what forces him to change his mind and say, I won't go for it today.
Well, just pitching Mark Todd up his neck a little bit at the Dodson and Horrell Elite Sport Muesli launch at 18. McClaren, but clears the Voltaire design sit tight nicely and heads back towards the last major question out on course. We'll watch them through here, because this is a horse, Sam, I would have thought would be ideally suited to this kind of fence, in so much as he's quick and nippy, isn't he?
He's quick and nippy, but it's much more about control, and they are going high side on that. You could jump that a little bit nearer to the camera. Now he's got him straight there, that's good, and he's really swinging out to get this turn. Yeah, so he played that safe. That was more of a schooling way through it. You're going to see people who don't sort of keep out on that turn. They're going to try and keep in to save 2 seconds and see what they can do.
Well, the clock is red. The time penalty's ticking up for Mark Todd and McClaren. He's going to drop below Tim Price, who is really climbing the leaderboard with the fastest round that we've seen so far. Some 13 seconds over the time is the fastest round of the day. But 47.2 for Mark Todd.